I used to take the river road home every night. It shaved about 15 minutes off my commute, and after a 10-hour warehouse shift, that mattered. The road ran alongside a narrow river that cut through miles of woods and farmland. No street lights, no houses for long stretches, just trees leaning over the asphalt like they were trying to listen. I never had a problem with it until one night in late October. I clocked out a little after midnight. The air was cold enough to fog the windshield, and the sky was clear in that sharp, brittle way it gets before winter. I remember feeling strangely alert despite being exhausted, wide awake, like my body was waiting for something. About 10 minutes into the drive, I noticed I hadn't passed a single car. That wasn't unusual. What was unusual was the silence. No insects, no wind. Even the river, which usually shimmered faintly beside the road, sounded dead. I turned the radio off to make sure I wasn't imagining it. Nothing, just the low hum of my engine. Then, up ahead, I saw something standing on the shoulder. At first, I thought it was a deer, the shapeless, tall and thin, slightly hunched. My headlights hadn't fully caught it yet. I slowed down instinctively. As I got closer, I realized it wasn't an animal. It was a person, standing perfectly still, facing the river. They were dressed in something long and dark that hung straight down, almost brushing the ground. No jacket, no movement, just standing there, about 3 feet from the edge of the pavement. My first thought was that someone's car must be broken down nearby, but there were no hazard lights, no parked vehicle, nothing but trees and the black surface of the water. As I passed, I glanced over. The figure didn't turn, didn't react to my headlights, didn't flinch. It was like I wasn't even there. A chill crept up my spine, but I kept driving. In my rearview mirror, I watched the figure shrink into the darkness behind me. Except it didn't shrink. For a second, it looked like it was still the same size, like it was closer than it should have been. I blinked, and it was gone. I told myself I was tired, that's all. A few miles later, the road curved sharply away from the river and cut deeper into the woods. The trees grew thicker there, their branches weeding together overhead. My headlights tunneled forward, barely cutting through the black. And then I saw it again, standing on the opposite shoulder this time, facing the trees. Same height, same dark clothing, same unnatural stillness. My stomach dropped. There was no way it could have gotten ahead of me. There were no side roads between where I first saw it and here, no trails wide enough for someone to run through without me seeing. I slowed almost to a crawl. As I approached, I noticed something I hadn't before. Its feet weren't touching the ground. They hovered just slightly above the pavement. Not enough to be obvious at a distance, but enough. My heart started pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. I gripped the steering wheel and forced myself not to stop, not to look too long. As my headlights passed over it, the fabric of whatever it was wearing didn't ripple in the wind of my car. It just hung there, still. When it disappeared in my rear view again, I refused to look. I drove faster. The road straightened out for a long stretch before reconnecting with the highway. I kept my eyes locked ahead, knuckles white on the wheel. Then my headlights flickered, just once. I glanced at the dashboard, no warning lights, battery normal. The headlights flickered again, and when they steadied, it was standing in the middle of the road, directly ahead of me. I slammed on the brakes. The car skidded, tires screaming against asphalt, stopping just short of where it stood. Now I could see it clearly. It wasn't fabric. It wasn't clothing. The darkness around it was wrong. Too thick, too solid, like smoke frozen into the shape of a person. There was no face, just a deeper patch of black where a face should be. I couldn't move. We were no more than 10 feet apart. The air inside my car felt heavy, hard to breathe. My ears rang like I had been submerged underwater. Slowly, it tilted its head. Not curious, not confused, just aware. And then it stepped forward. Not walking, gliding. My body finally reacted. I threw the car in reverse and pressed the gas without thinking. The engine roared, and the car jerked backward down the empty road. The thing didn't chase me. It didn't have to. Because as I looked in my side mirror, it was no longer in front of the car. It was beside it, keeping pace with me, perfectly level with the driver's side window. Floating. I screamed. I don't remember deciding to turn the wheel, but suddenly I was spinning the car around in the middle of the road. Gravel and leaves sprayed as I straightened out and accelerated the opposite direction. When I risked another glance in the mirror, the road was empty. Completely empty. No figure, no movement. I didn't slow down until I hit the highway. The moment I merged under the bright overhead lights, the world felt normal again. Passing cars, distant truck engines, civilization. The next day, I told a coworker about it. I tried to make it less insane than it was. He didn't laugh. He asked me where exactly on the river road I saw it. When I described the curve and the long straight stretch, he went quiet. Then he said his cousin had died on that road years ago. Car accident, late at night, swerved to avoid something in the middle of the road. Police never found skid marks that made sense, just his car wrapped around the tree. They assumed he fell asleep, but before the crash, he had called his brother, said there was someone standing in the road, floating. I don't take the river road anymore. Sometimes I'll drive past the entrance during the day just to prove to myself it's an ordinary stretch of asphalt. It always looks harmless in the sunlight. But every once in a while, when I pass that dark opening between the trees, I get the strangest feeling, like something is standing just inside the tree line, facing the river, waiting for the next set of headlights.